All right, everybody, and welcome. This should be the end of your week, if Friday is the end of your week. This is our third video of this week that we were talking about the authentic self and how to go about creating what you want. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. Most folks, they think when they get involved in spirituality that you have to go sit in a cave and meditate and wear a terry cloth robe and a rope belt and this kind of thing, and just be completely still, like the classic statue of a Buddha. Yeah, this is not so. This is not so. Sri Ramana Maharaj mentioned that it was, and he talked to his devotees about that. It was, he wanted them, actually almost insisted that they go about their normal life and their responsibilities. And they didn't have to give that up to awaken to their authentic self, their true nature. Because many of them thought, well, okay, I'm going to give up everything. I'm going to give up my job and give up my family and walk away from everything and just be at your feet. And he said, no. Go back to your life and you will awaken through your life. Use your life experience of your day-to-day, what you're doing. Use that to guide yourself to realizing your true nature by realizing all that you are not. He's speaking of, again, the persona. We could call it the ego or the self-image, but it's that which we believe ourselves to be as opposed to that which we are. Yes? And that what we actually are is our authentic self. What does authentic mean? It means the actualness of what something is without anything else. So we could talk about unconditional, without conditions. So what are you without condition? Well, we could go deeper in and say, well, the body is a condition, and so is the mind. Those are conditional, we'll call them states for now. What is it that has those conditional states that is living through it? Your true nature. Now, it can't be held because it's infinite and eternal. It has nothing to it. It is a no-thingness or an isness, shapeless, formless. There's no attribute that you could give to it, and it can only be, as my master says, directly experienced, which is true. It's not a thought. You can't get there through thought, but you intuitively realize that that is what you are. Now, it's perfectly fine. This is where people get concerned. They go, I can't have a normal life. I can't ever experience anything, right? Because if I'm nothingness, then how does nothingness go about having a life? This is the mind that gets in the way. It's the conditioned mind, the mind that is full of conditions of, well, this is the way things are based on my experience, and this is what I've been taught. This is the knowledge that I've acquired, most of it not really true. And then you perceive everything through that, and it's that perception that's saying, well, then I don't want to be my authentic self because it doesn't sound like very fun. And that's the irony of it is, if we, I don't know if giving it a word as fun is the best word, but it is the most joyous of what you are. And it is your essential nature. It is what you actually are. Everything else from that is a diffusion of it. Yes? It is a projection from it. So you're not the projection, but the actual light. Christ said, I am the light and life and the way. So the self-image, as I mentioned in, I believe, the first or second video this week, is suffering its own thoughts about itself and about the world and about how it's getting along in the world or not getting along. It suffers. So we would just say, I'm suffering my own thoughts. But it's not the true I that you are. Your true essential nature is the I, yes? It's not that pure I-ness, but it's all the conditions that it's taken on and said, I am these conditions, the person with its life. And it's that, and those are just a bunch of ideas. Those ideas or concepts have been conceptualized, I-Z-E, right? Personalized. It means you've taken it on. Ized kind of means to take on and give life to. You've conceptualized, the concepts have been conceptualized or taken on as now not just concepts, but saying I am these concepts. And it's those concepts that we suffer. And they're our own concepts. So we're suffering our own concepts of ourselves. Again, my master says it's the identity or the person who suffers its own ideas of itself. Isn't that true? A perfect example is, let's say you get up and you're having a bad hair day and you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, I hate the way my hair is today. So you don't feel good. Why? Because your hair doesn't look great today, or what you think your hair isn't looking great. And so you are taking on thoughts about yourself, your hair, which is still what you're identifying with. And you're saying, my hair looks crappy today. Ugh. And so I don't feel good about myself. The self-image, the image is suffering ideas about itself, about its hair, and saying, I can't go out looking like this. I hate myself. And it's fun, and it is funny because when you start realizing this, you're going to start laughing. You're going to start laughing all the times about these thoughts that you're holding. You're going, my God, I am an absolute lunatic. And then you go, what? I am dropping this identity, or at least these ideas that I'm holding on to, because you have good concepts about yourself and negative concepts about yourself, or bad ones that cause the suffering. And you don't need to be in a state of pain and suffering. So really important that you start realizing that. There is, and again, this is all about creating what you want in life, right? This week we're talking about our launch coming up next week on Monday, the 24th, through the 2nd. So Monday through Friday, 30 minutes a day for 5 days. And you will change because you're learning at a deep level about these things, and they change you in a good way so that you can start creating what you want in life. So the persona, your self-image, your identity, your ego, paradigm, same in my vocabulary, I'm referring to the same exact thing, which is it is who you think you are, or who you are believing being alive in. Okay? All that is that. All of that, as that, is living in identity. It's living in attachment to the identity and everything the identity says is mine. My car, my body, my life, my home, my relationship, my career, my the money that I have or don't have, my wealth or my poverty, my health or my sickness and illness. So there is attachment to that, to those things. And judgment. It judges itself. So remember, we were just talking about that the self-image, or the ego, the personality, the paradigm, who you believe yourself to be, is suffering its own ideas or concepts about itself. It judges itself. We would say we're the hardest on ourselves, aren't we? What does that mean? We are the ones who judge ourselves the hardest. This is all a part of harnessing your success, the success of literally awakening to who you are, and then allowing that to express itself. So make sure that you, again, click above or click below in the link that my marvelous, wonderful team has created for you so that we can be on together in the private Zoom, Facebook, Harness Your Success this week coming up on June 24th. Okay? Share it with friends. Remember, the more you share, that's giving, the more you're going to receive. It's a lovely thing. And that's why I love sharing and giving to you guys. And remember, it doesn't cost a dime, right? That's true giving. All right, guys. So until then, I will see you next week as we begin. So actually, if you're watching this is going to be Friday, and it means Saturday, Sunday, Monday. In 3 days, so we're starting. So make sure that you sign up. All right, guys. See you later. Bye.